You all know who I am. I'm Suzi the Huntress. I'm sitting right here with a very, very dear and special friend of mine I've known literally a lifetime. He's a legendary Rex trailer. How are you doing, Rex?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing much better now that I'm sitting here with him. Haven't seen him in a bit, though, with all my traveling and filming. Rex is a great guy. He has been extremely instrumental when it came to giving me media training, riding a horse, and spinning the ropes, like you've all seen. What I'd like to do is maybe reminisce a bit about the Boomtown days and then bring it up to what you're doing now and maybe what you're going to be doing in the future.
Well, I hope to be doing a lot in the future.
Yes.
But when it comes to Boomtown, that was 20 of my favorite years.
Mm-hmm.
And Boomtown was on the air from 1956 to 76.
That's right, it was.
Yeah, and we had some great times on that. When I started TV, that was in New York.
That's right.
And I have an interesting little story to tell about how I got started.
Okay.
A lot of people say to me, Rex, how do you ever get started in show business? Well, I got started in show business in rodeos. I grew up on my grandfather's ranch, and all of the cowboys on the ranch, even though I was 7 years old at the time, would teach me to trick ride, teach me guitar, teach me bullwhips and trick roping, and all of that. So by the time I was in my teens, the cowboys said, okay, we taught you all we know, now we're going to take you on the road.
And what road did they take you on?
Rodeo.
Whoa, okay. Okay.
So they used me in their act, trick whips, trick shooting, trick riding, and I'd play a few songs too. Well, that was great fun. I loved it. And I played New York, Madison Square Garden. And I was visited by a fellow by the name of Gabby Hayes.
Yes.
Gabby Hayes, a very famous character actor, was John Wayne's sidekick, and
yeah,
he was a great guy. So he saw the show, and he came backstage after the show and said, hey, kid, I like your act.
And you were really a kid back then. You were like borderline baby kid.
18.
Okay, that's a baby to me right now.
Yeah. So he said, I have a ranch for kids up in the Catskills, and what I'd like you to do is to come up to the ranch. It was Gabby Hayes Ranch. And I'd like you to entertain the kids and teach them some of the skills that you were doing out in the rodeo ring. I said, well, after he told me how much he was going to pay me, I agreed.
Of course. Money still does talk.
And it was better than what I was doing in the rodeo. So I went up there and spent the summer up there. And I got along very well with the kids. And at the end of the season, Gabby came to me and said, you know, you get along so well with kids, you should be doing a television show for kids. So I said, you going to hire me? And he said, well, no, that's not what I had in mind. Because at the time, he had a show on NBC for Quaker Oats and Quaker Puffed Rice. So I said, well, exactly how do I get into the business? And he said, well, take all your bag of tricks, all the things you do, your cowboy hat and your outfit, go around to the stations in New York and tell them that you're there to audition. Well, I went to NBC. Oh no, we have Gabby Hayes on the air. Well, okay. Went to CBS. We don't hire cowboys.
Okay.
Finally, I went down to a television station that had just started out, and it was called Dumont Television. And I went in, and they said pretty much the same thing. We don't hire cowboys. And she said, we just don't have a show that you'd fit into. Okay. So I was headed out to my car in the back parking lot. And on the way, I passed this big door that was open. Trucks could go in and out.
Okay.
And it was the scenic department.
Okay.
So I stood there and watched for a little while because these guys were painting scenery in there. And all of a sudden a fellow came out and said, hey, you looking for a job? And I said, as a matter of fact, I am. He said, can you paint scenery? I said, well, I've been watching these guys. I can do whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, come on in. So for a week, I painted scenery. But I was in the door.
That's right. That's right. You got your foot in, you got your whole body in, and you're painting scenery. That's an incredible story.
So at the end of the week, this fellow came over and gave me my check. And he said, you did a good job for us. By the way, somebody wants to know if you'd like to be a production coordinator. I had not the foggiest idea what a production coordinator was.
Right.
But I said yes. I said yep.
A Texan accent?
So I got hired as a production coordinator. And I found out what that is. It's a gopher.
Yep. That I do know.
A gopher. So I went for this, went for that, and ordered scenery, which I painted.
Did that too?
No, I didn't. I didn't paint it after that.
Oh, okay.
But actually what happened was one thing came up after the other, until finally somebody said, by the way, Harry Morgan is leaving the station. He's going to Hollywood. And he was the director of a big show called Fashions on Parade. And before he leaves, we want you to be his assistant director and find out about this show and how he directs it. And it was about 2 months before he left. And then when he did leave, the studio director came to me and said, you know all Harry's tricks now. So how would you like to direct the show? I was 18 years old.
Wow.
And this was a big show. I said, yep. And I was directing Fashions on Parade, and it was a big show. but I didn't think it was any big deal for me to be directing it because I knew all Harry's tricks.
Yeah.
And that went on. And then one fateful day, the studio manager came in and said, you know, we're thinking of having a kid show on Saturday morning, and we're looking for a cowboy who can ride a horse, has a horse, and who can do all the stunts.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, really? When is the audition? And they said, this next Saturday. So I said, okay. If I know of anybody, I'll send them around. Well, I got my cowboy duds on,
mm-hmm.
my bag of tricks, my guitar, and I arrived that Saturday morning. And there were 50 kids in the bleachers.
Wow.
And I said, gee, who's doing the audition? And they said, the kids.
Oh, you know what? That's a great idea if you think about it, because
Yeah.
they would be the ones to watch you anyways.
Sure.
Good.
So they were surprised I was there because they had no idea what I was up to. And I said, I'm auditioning, but I want to go last. Yeah, okay. They didn't know why I wanted to go last, but it was because I wanted to check out all the other guys that were auditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some could play the guitar better than I could. Some could sing better than I could. And other guys, none of them had a horse, but I had. And then I said, toward the end of the time, I think I've got it. Why? I was the only one auditioning that didn't have a Brooklyn accent. They were all from New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I went ahead and I auditioned, and I played my guitar, sang some songs, did my bullwhip tricks, trick roping, and got the kids involved in games. And they elected me.
Well, how could they not? I mean, you know, you got the Texan accent. You got the kids going wild over the rope tricks. And I know, I have been involved in your rope tricks for so many years. And
I roped you in?
You were. Yes. Rex Trailer has roped me in many times. But, you know, it's just a sensation of actually watching you in action that I think made those kids just go crazy over you. I bet you they're all screaming and clapping their hands, and how could they not, I mean, hire you at that point?
Well, I was used to entertaining kids.
That's right.
And so it worked out favorably. So the director of the show came over to me after the kids elected me. And he said, I've got a little bit of a problem. I said, what's your problem? He said, well, I thought it would take at least a month or two to put this show on the air.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've seen, you are the show. Mm-hmm. So we start next week.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome.
And that was how I got on television.
And you were such a young guy to boot, you know? When you started in this industry, that is totally incredible. Now, how did that become Boston? How did you make that move from New York into the Boston area?
Well, there was something in between. I was hired, I was on the air in New York for 2 years. And then NBC called up and said, we need somebody to be the children's TV personality in Philadelphia. Would you like to go there? And then once again, I asked the all-important question, how much?
Yeah.
And it was a lot more than I was getting paid there. And so I took off for Philly. 5 years.
Wow.
I was on the air in Philly, and it was a great time. But then I got the bad news. Even though I had a ranch up in Bucks County, and I had kids at the ranch and all of that, I was doing pretty much what Gabby had done in the Catskills.
I see. That's right.
So they said, we've got a little bad news for you. We sold the station. So my contract was with Westinghouse. But that's okay. We can send you to one of our other stations, either Cleveland or Boston.
Okay.
I said, well, I've never been to Cleveland, but I have been to Boston. So I'll take that. And off I went to Boston. Well, in Philly, the name of my show was Rex Trailer's Ranch House. And so we decided to make it a little bigger, and we built a town. But it didn't have a name. And we had it all set up. We were going on the air, and we had to name the town. So I was
like last minute.
watching TV. I saw Clark Gable in a movie called Boomtown.
Whoa. Okay.
All across the screen was Boomtown. And I said, hello, that's the name of our show.
Isn't that incredible?
And then, just before we went on the air, the day before, the director said, do you have a theme song? I said, a theme song. I hadn't even thought about it.
I do like this story. Go ahead.
And I said, okay, I'll write one. So that night I wrote Boomtown. Howdy there, folks, we're glad to meet you in Boom. Boom, Boomtown. Okay. Director said, hey, that's fine. So we went on the air the next morning, and that was March of 1956.
Wow.
And I had 18 weeks left on my contract. So I was supposed to work out the 18 weeks. Turned into 20 years.
That is just so fantastic. And you know what? We have all been blessed by having to watch you on the weekends and to grow up with you, and just the way you influenced our lives with such clean, good fun. Clean, good TV.
That was our mission.
Fun.
That was our mission.
And educational, too.
Yeah, and we call it Boomtown, the friendliest Western town on TV.
Yeah, it truly was. You know, I never had the delight of being on the set of Boomtown, but I've been in your studios many, many times, and we've done a lot of fun things together over the many years we've known each other. Like I've said, a lifetime. But I know many people that have been to your sets, and they've always come back with, from the Boomtown set especially, they came back with knowledge that they didn't have when they first went in. I honestly believe, I mean, they did have Romper Room, they had other programs, but you gave them such a diverse and different type of educational background, whether it came to, plants, animals, wild animals, interviews. I mean, it was incredible the amount of education that you jam-packed into that weekend, and that we all were left like, wow. And at times, I would go back to school, and I'd want to learn more, whether it was at school or at the library, about the different things that you brought to light on your programs.
Well, you have to figure, or I figured, as long as I have the attention of the kids, it would not be to their benefit unless I could teach them something.
Right, and that's something that you actually gave to me. Like I've told many people that he's my mentor, but you've given me the ability to be able to take the talents I have and to teach people and to educate them. And that's what I do, whether it was with the comedy show I had or doing business highlights, sharing different businesses throughout the community with, the states, now worldwide on the web, but also in the paranormal that I work right now. It's nice to be able to take that education I have in the paranormal and answer the questions of the unknown for other people that may be afraid or whatever, and to dabble in that. I'm there to help inform them.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by that.
It's a lot of fun, but then again, a lot of people don't know that you actually you're a hypnotist as well.
I'm a hypnotherapist.
A hypnotherapist. And my question, and a lot of people have asked me, how do hypnosis and, let's say, the paranormal, what's the cohesive blend there? I mean, how does one reach the other? Because I know there's got to be. There's got to be a blend in there with past life regression and all of this stuff.
Yeah, well, I think so too, but I don't know what the blend is. But that is what we've been talking about.
Right. It's probably one of those unknown, and just to even chat a bit, the videographer Suzi here today, I was asking her in the car, I'm saying, with past life regression, you can go back in time to a past life. Now that spirit of the past life, can you tap into that in your present life and communicate with the spirits that were there in your past life?
Well, many hypnosis, the people who specialize in past life regression. Now, I've done some of it, but not intentionally. I've had people who have had some problems, and I figured if I could regress them to the point where they could remember parts of their childhood when they were very young, I thought it would be very important to find out these things so that I could help them with some of their problems. And it's very interesting. It's real.
Yeah, it is real. And like I said, even with the paranormal industry, I'm still learning. I don't think there's an expert in the world. I think we're professionals, but it's an ever-changing field with a lot of variables that you have to keep educating, re-educating, and passing on that knowledge.
Well, not only that, but every day I learn something new.
Yeah.
I've been in the field for many, many years. And by the way, this convention coming up.
Yes, and the name of the convention is?
It's the National Guild of Hypnotists.
Right.
And this is the 24th year we're doing it. 2,500 hypnotists from all over the world.
I'm not going.
Gather.
I'm not going.
2,400.
Yeah.
Come from all over the world to this convention. And they put on demonstrations. They talk about discoveries and different things that will improve the profession. And so I'm still involved. We're going to be videotaping all of these demonstrations so that people who can't make the convention will be able to order them.
Now, when you're in and I was just fooling about not going because I'm thinking like all these hypnotists are going to do something to me when I walk in the door. I don't know what they're...
Love you.
Oh, maybe. Hey. Anyways, now I'm blushing. Oh, my God. But do you ever feel the enormous amount of energy while you're there?
Oh.
In a room with all that
tremendous amount of energy. And that's what makes this such a wonderful convention, is that they're able to get together and pass on that energy to some people
Right.
who are just starting out.
Right, and it's all positive energy, which is good with the passing of knowledge and educating the general public. A lot of people, especially with the paranormal industry, I don't like to sing to the choir. I figure they're set in their ways, they know their stuff. I like to educate the general public, the people that really don't know that much. And I often find, too, that the general public, they can educate me because they have such an innocent approach to it, you know, the bright-eyed thing. And they come up with these questions and these sort of solutions, and they really get you to think like, geez, I didn't think of that. I think I'm going to go home and research that idea. I've come away with a lot of knowledge when it comes to the general public. And like I said, it's all about the knowledge and exchange of knowledge to go forward in this industry.
After Boomtown finished, I went on and did a show called Earth Lab. And that was on for 6.5 years locally, and then went on to be syndicated. And Earth Lab was exactly what you're talking about, passing on information. And no matter what it was, we did a show on it. It was a fun experience.
Yeah, it
And
was.
it was all over the United States that we did the show.
So bring us up to speed. What are you doing right now? What are your future plans as far as television and the different... I know you've got your finger in just about everything out there.
Yeah, well, right now I'm on the C.C. Carroll show.
That's true. That's right.
C.C. Huntress.
C.C. the Huntress. I like him when he smiles when he says that. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Boy, if you could just read my mind now.
but we have done other shows. That crazy show we did on the ranch.
Yeah, we've done comedy together where we stole his ropes and got him caught up in a barn, and of course I got stuck swinging on the ropes, and he's just walking by waving and wouldn't help us. That was a lot of fun. And I think because of that show, I became the highest viewed comedian on YouTube in 2006. Believe it or not, go check out the statistics. They're there, as honest as can be. And that was a lot of fun doing that work with them and laughing.
I admire your success.
You know what?
It's great.
In part, it's because of you, Rex, and you know that. You've taught me so much as far as mentoring me with the media, how to hold the microphone, how to position my legs when I'm sitting, and I'm doing it now. But just the way you present yourself, your persona, and how you handle and command the audience through the camera. I've learned that all from you, and of course the rope tricks, other things. I'm not going to mention them. But yeah, we had a great time together all
Absolutely.
We sure did.
And now you're on to even greater things.
Yeah, I did. I won the first Paranormal Emmy, Best Show of the Year, 2011 for C.C. the Huntress, nominated for 2012. Actively filming and doing things in the paranormal. I do hunt by myself, so I'm up close and personal with the spirit world, maybe more so than a group or a team would be. I do the high-stake things like, you know, I used to do the gymkhana riding and all the rodeo riding too, and I try to incorporate a lot of those active physical things in the shows that I do with C.C. the Huntress. And people see it readily. I'm either riding or I'm swimming or I'm doing, you know, something crazy. I mean, just like you know, with the helicopter and then coming down on the ropes, and just, I saw all the stuff you did, and I'm thinking, I want to be like that. I want to have that excitement to bring to the audience. And plus that I just like doing it. And I'm kind of a tomboy.
I love flying. That's my big thing. Helicopters, gliders,
and you're a scuba diver too.
I love scuba diving. Yeah.
You like all that kind of stuff. So you've got your fingers in just about everything, and you film commercials for different businesses, and...
That's what we do here at the studio.
Right. And you do a lot of... you're going to be doing a recreation of the wagon ride coming up.
Yeah, 50 years ago, I organized a group of wagons, covered wagons, to go from Greenfield at one end of the state of Massachusetts to the State House. And it was to promote understanding for retarded children. During that 50 years, we don't call them retarded children anymore.
Right.
They're children with disabilities.
Sure.
However, it's 50 years, the anniversary, so we're going to recreate that, not the whole wagon ride. I was the wagon master on that. But I'll be the wagon master again for one wagon going from Greenfield to the fairgrounds.
I am going to be hiding in the back of the wagon, right? You did tell me
Hiding?
you're going to hide.
No, you'll be up front.
I got to get closer. I'm going to be in the wagon with Rex trailer. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm going to keep you to your word for that one. I'm going to show up. Huh? And that's in September, correct?
It is. It's in September, and it is being conducted by the ARC.
Okay.
It used to be the Association for Retarded Children. It's now the Association for Disabled Citizens.
Okay. All right, great.
So,
That'll be a nice time.
oh, it'll be
Are
wonderful.
you going to bring the guitar or should I bring mine?
Pardon me?
Are you bringing your guitar or should I bring mine?
Oh, I'll bring the guitar, and
I'll bring
you
mine
bring
too.
yours
I'll
too.
bring mine too,
Okay,
so we can do
fine.
some playing and entertaining for everybody. It'd be a lot of fun.
That'll be great.
Rex, I just want to thank you so much for letting me interview you. And again, I want to, just thank you for everything you've done for me personally. So many words I can't even say.
I'm so proud of you for all the success
I
you've
love
had.
you, Rex. On
Oh.
my heart.
Thank you. Oh, my.
Yeah. Bye-bye. I do love you.